Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today we are going to do another episode of the AI Day Trader Bot. I think this is the 5th episode, so we're going to talk about the changes we've made and go through all of the updates that I've made to the system. I've made quite a few updates since the last episode, mostly to the automation side of things. So we now have a system that will automatically sell the previous day's investments. So it just ends up with Matic, and then it will buy the recommendations automatically from ChatGPT. I still have to take the data from ChatGPT, the recommendations, and put them into the buying engine, I guess you could call it. It's just a script, it's just a Node.js script, which will buy a series of tokens that you tell it to. But it has sped up a lot of the process. So we're now at a stage where we're nearly completely automated. We've just got to hook up the last few bits and set it to run every day. I'm probably going to decrease the frequency of these videos to once a week and update you each week on the performance of the fund over the last week and any changes like I've been doing so far. So let's start at the beginning. So we've got this file, polygonmarketdata.json. This is a file that has been produced by the new script. This script I had before, but basically to run through it again, what it does is it fetches market data from the Polygon network, from the Uniswap graph, and it runs this query. It pulls liquidity pool, daily snapshots, the top 200 by daily volume, and then it just pulls loads of data that might be helpful to ChatGPT. And the output is saved to disk. It's a polygonmarketdata.json file. Let me just quickly show you what that looks like. Here it is. So this is today's data that I pulled earlier, and it gives you each liquidity pool. This one, for example, is USDC and wrapped Ether. And it gives you daily snapshots, daily data on this liquidity pool, such as the volume and the swap count. And it gives you like daily volume in the US dollars, the swap count for that specific day, as well as supply side revenue, total revenue, and some other metrics. So I tried to pull as much useful content as possible. It's definitely possible to tweak it and improve it, but for now, that's good enough. And then the prompt hasn't changed too much. Basically, we're saying that this is you're a market trader. You need to try and make as much profits in the next 24 hours. And I give it some data about I give it some information about what the data looks like, so that it helps it to parse it. Before, I was having problems with ChatGPT not really understanding the data or not knowing where to look. So I've just been a bit more explicit about how that looks. And then when deciding on the best trades to make, take these into account. We've talked about that before. If you want to go back and watch the earlier videos, I go into more detail on this and then talk through your process. And then the output has changed a little bit because the script I've written to do the investments has changed. So all I need now is the contract address and BPS, which is basis points, which is a numerical representation of a percentage. 5,000 basis points, I think, is 50%. I need to double check that, but I think it is. And so I'm hoping that it will output each token that it suggests to invest with the contract address and the percentage of the portfolio to invest. And that's what I say after this, or before this, sorry. And then I try to turn it away from stablecoins a little bit. I've had problems in the previous videos about it buying too many stablecoins. So I've tried to limit it at 50%. We'll see how that works. It might not work. And then trying to avoid deduplication and being explicit about where the token address is. So like before, what I'll do is run this through ChatGPT, answer any questions, go to the end, and then we'll pick up there and talk about the output. Okay, we're back. We have our list of tokens. I had to ask it to add the token symbol as well, because I've realized that the new format doesn't include token symbol, so I'll probably change the prompt slightly to add that back in. So we've got USDV and Binance USD, I think that is, which are two stablecoins, but also we've got AWT, Kong, BOM, and SML. which I don't think are stablecoins, which is great. Slight problem is that these basis points don't add up to the full 100%, but actually I've accounted for that in the purchasing script. So even if the total doesn't add up to 100, it will, or 100%, obviously these basis points, like I said, are 0.01%. If it doesn't add up to 100%, it will automatically just use them as weightings. So it will use these BPS values as indicators of how much to invest, and it will calculate the amounts based on that. So that's not actually a big problem. I was kind of anticipating that a little bit. It's strange because actually I looked at the code that was being generated, and there is this max BPS 10,000, which is 100%. So it is aware of what the value it should be aiming for is, but it still didn't get there. Which is an interesting thing to note. Quickly going through the response, it was a pretty standard response, very similar to the previous episodes. I feel like we've got it down to quite a good prompt now. The first thing it did was to look at liquidity pools by trading volume, and obviously stablecoins dominate that. And then it looked at price momentum and volatility. It wrote the script to analyze that. And we got a couple of graphs showing price momentum. Again, it was token ID, not token symbol, so I might have to improve that slightly. But it basically did the same things it's done before. It created a formula for bearing in price momentum, volatility, and the other metrics. And then it wrote a script that just went through and ranked the tokens by those metrics, and then spat out the final result, which is this. So the next steps, normally I would just go through and buy all of these on through the liquidity pools, either using Uniswap or an aggregator like KyberSwap. And yeah, that would be a slow process. But now, like I said, I've improved this process. So now what I've done is I've got a endpoint, like some code running on my local machine, which I've got two endpoints which I use. One is trading/sell all. And if I send this, it will work away, and what this is doing is basically selling everything that's in the wallet currently. And then once it's done that, I'll have just Matic in the wallet, and I can go and do the buy process. And this is where I'm going to be entering in the new buy values, the contract address and amounts. Let me just check. That's all in there. So this will go through and automatically buy each of these tokens with their calculated amounts. Another thing to say about the sell all is that it will only sell tokens that I've previously bought, because I realized I could easily fall into a trap here where somebody had airdropped me some scam tokens and I tried to sell it automatically, and it's basically gave them access to the wallet or ran a function on a dodgy smart contract. So I'm hopefully going to avoid that. Yeah, so I'll run this. That should automatically buy the tokens, and then we'll do the same thing next time. I'll be doing this every day this week, and hopefully I'll get to the stage pretty soon where it's just running via an automated script, and the evaluation will just be tweaking small things with the prompt. Oh, I should say another small change I've made is instead of using a local wallet, instead of using a MetaMask wallet, which I was using before, I'm now using a Defender Relay. And if you're not familiar with Defender Relay, basically what it is, let's see if I can find the page. It's a service by OpenZeppelin which allows you to create cloud-based wallets which you can access with an API. So instead of adding my private key from MetaMask into the script, I can now just call the API through OpenZeppelin Defender and buy and sell tokens on that wallet remotely, which just makes the whole interaction much easier and more secure, and it means that I can create a new wallet if I want to and scale it a little bit easier. So maybe I'll go into more detail on that next time, but for now I'm going to run the buy process, and yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.